Have you ever wondered in the middle of the night, while you're lying in bed trying to catch some sleep, why a tiny mosquito bite can turn into a full-blown battle between you and your own skin? You're there, digging your nails into your arm, practically scratching your skin off, and for some bizarre reason, it feels like the best thing ever. It's a complete paradox when you think about it. You are literally hurting yourself, causing micro damage to your body, yet your brain is rewarding you with a rush of pure bliss. It's like your body is playing a massive prank on you. And today, we're going to figure out why we're so obsessed with the itch-scratch trap. And the weirdest part? The more you scratch, the more your brain learns to crave it. Think of a mosquito bite like a tiny, unwanted software update being forced onto your system. When that mosquito lands, it doesn't just take your blood, it leaves behind a chemical called an anticoagulant. Imagine this as a blood thinner that keeps your blood from clotting, making it easy for the mosquito to sip like a milkshake. But your body's security system goes into a full-scale panic. It releases a chemical called histamine, which is basically a loud, obnoxious fire alarm. This alarm causes your blood vessels to swell. That's the red bump. And it starts poking your nerve endings, sending a constant, itchy signal to your brain. It's your body's way of saying, hey, something's here that shouldn't be. But here's where the brain gets sneaky. An itch is actually just a very low-level pain signal. Normally, your brain is too busy to deal with tiny pains, so it doesn't send much help. But when you scratch, you're creating a much bigger, sharper pain. It's like someone yelling to drown out a quiet whisper. When your brain registers the pain from your fingernails, it finally decides to send in the heavy hitters: serotonin and endorphins. You can think of these as your brain's natural happy pills, or neurotransmitters that regulate your mood and block pain. For a split second, you get a hit of these feel-good chemicals, and that's why scratching feels so satisfying. You've basically tricked your brain into giving you a reward for hurting yourself. In other words, your brain treats self-inflicted pain like a temporary solution, even when that solution is making the damage worse. Sometimes, though, the itch isn't even real. There is a legendary and heartbreaking story of a zoologist named M. Traver who spent 40 years of her life convinced that she and her family were infested with a rare skin fungus. She was so sure of it that she visited countless dermatologists, took samples of her own skin to labs, and even published a detailed research paper in the Entomological Society of Washington. She lived in a constant state of scratching and searching for a cure. But the truth was far stranger. After she passed away, researchers realized there was never any fungus. Her skin was perfectly healthy. She was suffering from a psychological glitch called delusional parasitosis. Her brain was stuck in a loop, creating a sensation of crawling on her skin that was so vivid, no amount of scratching could ever make it go away. It's a haunting reminder that the itch is often a mental projection rather than a physical reality. And honestly, that's terrifying when you think about it. Your brain can create an itch so convincing that you will destroy your own skin trying to escape something that never existed in the first place. We even see this mental itch in everyday life, something called the forbidden fruit effect. Have you ever noticed that soldiers standing perfectly still in a parade or a goalie waiting for a high-stakes penalty kick suddenly feel like they need to scratch their nose? There is no bug, no rash, and no dry skin. It's just that when your brain knows you cannot move, it starts hyper-focusing on every tiny sensation, amplifying a microscopic tickle into an unbearable itch. And here's the creepy part. The moment you think about itching, your brain starts scanning your body for one. Incredibly, itching is just as contagious as yawning. In a famous experiment, researchers gave a lecture on itching and intentionally scratched themselves while speaking. By the end of the talk, the security cameras showed almost everyone in the room was scratching their arms or legs. Your brain sees someone else scratch and thinks, wait, am I itchy too? And triggers the alarm just in case. If you want to dive deeper into how our brains create these wild physical sensations, you should definitely check out the work of Atul Gawande. In his writing, particularly in the context of his book, The Checklist Manifesto, and his essays on the maddening nature of itching, he explores how the brain processes these signals. Another must-read is Phantoms in the Brain by the world-renowned neuroscientist V.S. Ramachandran. He explains the body maps in our brains and how they can sometimes get their wires crossed, making us feel sensations, like a deep, burning itch, even in places where nothing is wrong. Speaking of that contagious itch, be honest, how many times did you feel the urge to scratch while listening to this? And what's the most awkward place you've ever had an itch you couldn't scratch in public? Now you know. Got more midnight questions? Drop them in the comments. Stay curious, and I'll see you in another Midnight Mystery.